It'd be that time again, boys. We're finally back after whatever the fuck we call the international break. It was something anyway, you know, a few positive notes. We didn't get battered or anything, so that's good for a Scotland perspective. But today we're back with domestic football, and we know what that means. It's time to watch us draw 0-0 again, probably. What's good? What's happening? It's time. It's game day. We're back. What's good? I hope everyone's in at least somewhat of a positive mood over the course of this week. You know, it's been some decent results. If anyone was keeping tabs on certain things that was going on yesterday, I'm sure you are probably looking forward to seeing how this one plays out on paper. I don't know why Spotify's just being an absolute fucking waste of time now. That's fantastic. I might just keep you paused. Smashing. Things you'll love to see. We always shout out the first few that are in here, so let's see what's going on. How you doing, Kevin? Nice to see you first for a change. Things you'll love to see. How you doing, Paul? What time is kickoff? It is in about 9 minutes from now. Give or take 3 PM. The kickoff is due to be scheduled for. How you doing? Nice to see you. Likewise with you, Chateau, as well, going for a 3-1. Well, it's ironic you said that, brother, because that is pretty much where my prediction sits as well. You'll kind of see it when we switch to the main screen. But I am kind of in the same boat. I think this is going to be one of those ones where Celtic will have to score some goals. It's been pretty stale. If you've been watching it from a offensive perspective, let's say for the past few match days, it has been quite what's the nicest way I can put it? Shite. Very shite. We've not really scored a lot of goals, and that's kind of been a problem. We haven't conceded many. That's a good sign defensively, but that's not really been the problem. We can't finish chances, so it'd be nice to see us actually do something along those lines and maybe get something on the board early. That would be nice to see, man. Can't wait for a lovely 0-0 snooze fest. Trust me, most likely will probably absolutely happen. Rugby Park is one of those places because of its pitch. Very difficult to get a result from when you're playing even decent football. Right now we're barely doing that, so it's going to be an interesting one. But the team has been sling. With that, we'll just switch screens and hope everything doesn't freeze, but I guess we're doing this then. You're fucking kidding me. Why is it being cringe? There we go. I don't know why it was so delayed there. I'll need to kind of be slightly more cautious while looking through that. I need to see how delayed that was on the playback actually, so do forgive me while I check. That was slightly scary, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure why it was doing that. It did freeze for a few seconds. I might do that as I switch between tabs for the first few times. I think guys, nice to see you, mate. Hope everyone's having a nice weekend. Likewise to you. I mean, I hope that you weren't too disappointed with the result yesterday. That was quite a bad showing for Rangers, to be honest. I've seen some of the stuff in Discord talking about it. I'm just going to have to switch between these a few times to make sure there's no bad lag. I think I've fixed it. I don't think it should be as terrifically awful. Just specifically when I switch to that main screen. But here's the lineups. If you want to take a gander, there's a few interesting options that you can certainly look at. I don't know why it's been so fucking cringe. I mean, literally did all the tests beforehand. No issues at all. Second that I go live, we're going to just collapse and break every time. Fantastic things you'll love to see. I do apologise if there's any skip frames. It will fix itself over the course of this next 5 minutes or so, hopefully. I would have my fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, well, like I said, down in my prediction bracket, you can see it just below the actual kind of main screen here. My prediction is kind of similar to yours, Chateau. I think it is going to be a 3-1. I think Killie are good, but they're not going to be good enough to win this game. I think it's going to be an interesting one just on paper and on premise because, like I said, it's all about kind of pragmatistic counter-attacking. And again, Celtic do have a couple of changes that could be of note and of interest to watch. Everything is so delayed. Jesus Christ, it's like a second at least. Things you love to see, man. But as you can see with our lineup, there's a few kind of faces that you might be interested to see in that starting lineup. Again, there's no Ralston or Tierney. That kind of makes sense based on all the things that have been happening over the last few kind of match days with them just in general. Starting with Sriracha and Donovan isn't the worst call in the world, although Donovan hasn't had many starting minutes. So again, it will be interesting to see how he kind of adapts to this one. You've got Carter Vickers and Scales playing as our centre-back pair and nothing really changes there. Likewise with Schmeichel in between the sticks, but Sriracha, going to be interesting to see how he plays. I mean, we didn't get to see too many minutes of him, to be honest, before the international window, but the little bits we did see was quite promising, so it'll be interesting to see how he does with a start under his belt today. You've got Rio and Negrin starting either side of our skipper and McGregor in the midfield, which is kind of what you expect about now. Kind of feel a bit for Angels, but again, I like the way Negrin and Hatate play together, so it makes sense to me. And again, the front three, like I said, this is where the changes come in. The surprising one is that Kelechi doesn't get the start. I would have honestly have expected that to be the case, but I guess Rodgers hasn't really committed to the idea of him being fully settled into this one, so it's going to be a pretty interesting front three, but one that I don't necessarily mind as long as Maeda doesn't miss another fucking sitter. That is genuinely all I am praying for, just not an absolute sitter from him today. But it's Baliwisha, Maeda, and of course Tunekti playing on that far side. And again, it will be interesting to see how these boys play, because again, Baliwisha, we got a little bit of a taste of him in that Old Firm match, but again, not too many chances to really say definitively what I think of him. He just had a couple of runs and that was about it. We'll get to see our new boy on the right, which will be an interesting one. And like I said, the rest of the team, while very standard in its premise, is very interesting on paper. Like I said, Sriracha and Donovan, will be interesting to see how they blend together, especially with the way that we play on sweeping forwards. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. And like I said, on the bench we do have options we can rely on. I know you can't see the bottom one, but it is just Tierney and Forrest. If you can't see them, I'll just rule that down a little bit more so you can. But the rest of the bench, you do have a couple of options that we can rely on should we want to. Like I said, we've got McCowan, Aniacho and Gels, Bernardo, Forrest, Tierney, whole bunch of bodies that we can call on should we need them. Likewise, sorry Killie though, if you want to take a look at their bench, you're more than welcome to, but Bruce Anderson and Watkins are the two picks that I would take off that bench any day of the week. Nonetheless though, this is their starting lineup. We'll kind of touch on them a little bit before we get underway here, but it's Strajic starting in between the sticks, and he's had a relatively interesting stint because Killie are actually undefeated. They're one of the few teams that are still are, alongside Celtic as well, so it's an interesting one from his perspective because 4 draws, it's neither bad nor good. I think, you know, if you're Kettlewell, you'll take it. It's 4 points for 4 games. It's not the worst, but they'll be looking to try and do something a bit more offensively potent today, so I guess that's probably why they've gone with a bit more of a pressed layout than their usual lineup, but it's still that classic 5-3-2 that you expect to see from them. Thompson and Brown starting on the full back sides either end of their 3 centre backs with Strangier, Mayo and of course Diaz playing as well. You've got Watson, Polworth and McKenzie playing across that midfield line, and of course Dackers and Daniels. What an incredible powerful combination name to say. Again, I know you can't really say it because of the little score prediction thing, but there you go, that's basically their full lineup as well. If you want to look at the table before we start this one, because it is an interesting one to look at, Hearts obviously with their win over Rangers yesterday, make sure that they're down in 10th. That's an interesting one from their perspective. No wins in 5. I don't even think the most unoptimistic of Rangers fans would have expected a start that shite, but nonetheless that's what's happened. The boys are walking out the tunnel though now. We'll be getting underway in about 2 minutes or so, but Celtic basically need to win the day to keep themselves at the top of the table. Any type of win will honestly do in terms of goal difference. Still yet to concede a goal domestically in the league, so that is the one good thing that we have going in our favour, but that little slight slip up at Ibrox and not getting the win, it's going to be very interesting to see how this one plays, especially considering the fact away from home we just haven't really been able to click, especially recently. Again, Kairat, Rangers, and if we don't get a result here that would be 3 straight, especially if we don't score. That'd be depressing as fuck, but hopefully not the case. We'll have a little look through the comments here, see what's being said. Interesting to see the new boys in the team. Well, that's the thing, a lot of people were kind of hoping that we would see Kelechi today, because even Maeda as a striker, he's not been particularly potent, so definitely interesting. You didn't watch the game because you know we're going to get beat from Hearts, and Hibs will beat us next weekend. I love the optimism, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think Martin's style of play makes sense, to be cool, fully honest with you. How we doing, my friend? Hope you're good. We're winning this 2-0. We'll love to see it, James. That's the optimism. I love to see the fucking plastic pitch, I know. Jesus Christ. I know. Seems like ages ago. How you doing, the man, for all season? Jesus Christ. A lot of shit has gone down these past few weeks, but Brendan and the boys have an opportunity to put a line under it today. This is a market. Exactly it. It's not about what's really on the page, it's what's at the bottom and who it's signed, sealed and delivered by. And hopefully today, a good team performance will kind of lay out at least a decent marker for the rest of this month, because things start to get very crucial. Of course, you've got the first few Europa League games this month as well. You kind of want to make an early statement, and a win against Killie is probably the easiest chance we've got this month to win a game. And honestly, it's not an easy test, so we'll have to keep ourselves composed at the very least, but we'll read out the lineups before we kick off one last time. I really don't like how it keeps delaying itself for an extra second. We'll start with Killie because that makes the most sense. For the home side, their lineup is as follows. Strategic starts in between the sticks with Brown and Thompson as their full back pairings. Stranger, Mayo and Diaz are the ones that are playing in their centre back rows. Mackenzie, Watson is their central man, and Polworth kind of playing as their in behind left attacking midfielder, so to speak. Dackers and Daniels as their front two up front. For Celtic, it's a slightly changed team, but a damn interesting one as well. It's Schmeichel starting between the sticks, we know that well and true. Sirachi and Donovan, however, coming as our full-back replacements, and Scales and Carter Vickers hold their line as our centre-back choices. McGregor, our skipper, stays in the middle, and of course Rio Negrin starts either side on the left and right respectively, and of course Balaguisha, Tunekte and Maeda start up front. So no Kelechi for this one. It will be interesting to see how we play, but the ball's about to get rolling, so we'll give this a refresh when it makes sense to. And hopefully a half decent performance is good to. It's the bare minimum, isn't it? That's the absolute bare minimum we can hope for. Just something half decent. If we can get that, then we're more than fine. You know what I mean? It's going to be Negrin that gets the ball rolling for us, and we are underway. So let's give this a wee refresh. I'm sorry if it lags. It probably will. I don't know why, but Google has like notoriously been slow as shit the last few days, so it might take a second or two. That's incredible, it's ripping the piss. Yeah, it's like fucking 20-30 seconds just to load up a screen. Come on, Christ. There we go. Pop the stats so you can see those, and hopefully we can play some football. Now already Donovan's run that out to the back line. He's going to get the throw in though, that's decent. Started on the 146-minute on the Sky Sports. Legendary. They have such a bad record of covering games for us, it's incredible. There's already some kind of pressure there on the far side from Balaguisha, but not too much to be said about it in the end. Calmly dealt with in the end by Thompson, so it's going to be a throw-in for them on that far side. How's the rest of your weekends and stuff going? I hope you are all enjoying yourselves. It's been a pretty interesting week. Obviously those who were watching the game yesterday, it's certainly opened up the table. Rangers are already trailing 9 points behind Hearts and could be 9 points behind us if we get our fingers out and get going today. But again, very changed side, especially on the offensive end. So that will be the interesting part. Maybe the new blood gives us a bit more of a dynamic approach and we can get something going here. It's a good steal for Donovan. Just cuts it back and plays it for Carter Vickers. Slightly risky passing towards Sneakton, but calm enough in the end. Scales gets it on the pass back out towards Sirachi on that far side. Good feet for the Argentine, but he's just going to have to lay it back for Scales in the end, and hopefully we can get something shifting on that side, I suppose. He should go central, calm enough. Back towards Scales. Seems to be the same kind of thing on the opening 2 minutes, but we take it. It's probably just to settle the bodies and nerves. Good pass inside. That's a lovely ball out into space. How's your control? Decent enough. I think we'll start with Tunekte on that far side, and he's got good feet on him, controls it well, cuts inside. Sirachi on the far side as well as calmly controlled too. Just calm one touch passing. Keeps it composed, there's a bit of pressure on him there. I think it was Daniels that tried to engage in the press, and it's just a loose giveaway. The fans coming in yet. To be honest, they've not, at least the feed that I've got, they have not panned over to the away end once. It's an interesting one, to be honest. It's like part of me was considering not covering this game for the sake of the protest as well, but at the same time it's not as if I'm at the game, so it's one of those, right? One of those weird middle grounds. Oh, a nice long sleeve top. I appreciate that, bro. It's on sale right now if you're actually interested, I suppose I should say that. I mean, everything's on fucking sale on Celtic's site. Given the recent circumstances, what's going on with Simpson Pussy, he's not on the bench anyway, I don't believe so. I don't think so anyway. There is a great ball forward actually, as soon as I say that, but calmly cut out in the end by I think Diaz there. Yeah, there was a decent number, you just kind of seen it as it panned across there. There's like it's not packed out, but there are certainly Celtic fans in there, for sure. Probably ones that just wanted a seat, to be honest. Celtic to win 2-0 or 3-1. Yeah, I think a lot of us are in the same boat that we should win this game, but obviously the way Kettlewell builds up his sides, they can be frustrating defensively to break through, especially because of that stupid fucking 5 at the back that they play with. It's hard to kind of get the correct ball into the right spaces, I should say, not really in behind. That's a good bit of pressing from Maeda, cleared away in the end. But Strajic, it's calmly dealt with, and Celtic retain it calm enough. Donovan probably had a few more touches than he would have been comfortable with in the early stages of this one, but fair enough. Scales, played forward, calm, take it. Sirache, good feet. Not really the best pass from Rio, but calm enough. The second one into space is really good though. Dyson has it in the box. Seems to be a bit more dynamicism in the play. Is there going to be a cut inside? There is. There's a shot, but it deflects quite calmly in the end, I think, off of Thompson there, and should just bounce out towards the far side again. Maybe we've got another left-hand flank attack. Good feet. Gets past his man. Is he going to get it in his space? He does, and there's claims for handball. I mean, definite shouts for it from a few Celtic bodies, but referee doesn't seem too interested. It'll be interesting to see the replay of that back, but for now the ball's played in behind. Maeda will try his best to force the issue. Player goes down looking for the foul, and I think he gets it. One of the two, but Tunekte is claiming that it came off the arm, and he's adamant that it should be checked. Let's have a look. It does come off his arm, in fairness, but it's one of those would it have really changed the area of play? I can kind of get why it wasn't given, but I've seen less absolutely given, so it's one of those ones. Definitely interesting in its own way. We do appreciate you, the ones that are in here as well, by the way. I'm sorry if the stream isn't in the best quality right now, but anyone that's in here, you're very much appreciated. We could share this around and get a few extra people in it. I know this is going to be one of those dud games and maybe even lost by the protest. You'll be lucky if this VOD even breaks 500 views, I'd imagine. I guess we'll need to see over the course of time. But we do have a corner kick chance 6 minutes in. I'm curious to see where we go with this one. Maybe high and wide, lip it, do something of any fucking note potentially. It's near post. Dangerous, and it pops up and kind of softly sails in the end into towards the hands of the Killie keeper. It was a decent half attempt, you can say that much, but I don't think Vickers was too aware of it. Just kind of bounces off of him. A little unlucky, but it is what it is. Good steal for Celtic. That's going to be a foul apparently. I'm a bit confused. This referee is clearly just doing the classic SFA thing again. No check for a clear handball, but they're just giving out fouls for anything now. He didn't really catch the fella too hard. That's good to know, Kevin. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You should win the day. Hopefully so, guys. But again, Celtic are having a different issue when it's like more about identity on the offensive front. Defensively, we've been okay. But on the attack is where a lot of the questions have kind of been placed, so it'll be interesting to see, obviously, with the plastic pitch away to Killie, a place that has caused us problems in the past. Yeah, these types of matches are the ones that you kind of want to keep an eye out for, you know what I mean? The little thing didn't come up with David Ferguson. Thank you very much for subscribing, mate. It's much appreciated. Either that or I missed it, I'll be honest. Shouldn't know where anymore. I know we're very interesting. Well, I think for Yamada it's straightforward, right? Like Maeda and Kelechi makes sense. It's probably the same reason why Kenny isn't really on the bench either. But yeah, I kind of agree with Adamura. Like that's kind of disappointing because he has looked like he's had a decent start to the season. But then again, maybe they're seeing something in Sirachi that's a bit more unique, or maybe a bit more what Rodgers is looking for in a fullback, especially as a step in and stand in for Tierney. You want someone that's a bit different. And maybe that's what Sirachi is for us. It's coming off. He really could go for an over the top, and he does, but it's overhit to fuck. And out behind for a goal kick for Killie again. Fair enough. Can't argue with it too much. Rodgers has a winger up front, and then there's 3 available striker options. I know that's the part that did confuse me. In my ability, just in my opinion. The ability that you've got in any... Oh, Jesus, as soon as I say that, actually, Maeda does engage a press and nearly gets something from it. The Strajic is fucking raging with the press of the back line. I think either he's number 5, it's that Diaz I think he was complaining about for like laying it back poorly because it forced the keeper to have to try and punt it clear, and if it came off Maeda a different way it could have bounced very favourably, thankfully for them, though it did not. Now Killie have a half chance to attack, but Carter will just pass it back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel pops it out, and his first touch, it's genuinely stupid how bad he is at times. Bro, take the fucking touch, stop being a panicky wee prick and just fucking play it out. It's no difficult. You make the easiest shit look so complicated, it's actually insane. Finger out Schmeichel, mate. Just consider that a poor giveaway. Unpopular take, the SFA can't win if they give too many decisions. They get slapped for sliding, for signing with the big boys. We give them slack for being against us. Well, because 95% of their decisions don't make sense. For or against half of the time, you're just like, what? How? Like last season, it was a major issue where so often you would see that happen, where it was like, oh yeah, no, that's clearly not a penalty, and then they'll go to VAR, spend 10 minutes looking at it, and then still get it wrong and give the penalty. But also vice versa, where you see a motherfucker getting absolutely snapped in half like a twig in the wind and nothing's even looked at. I mean, just take what happened there. Like literally a straight handball that could have been checked at the very least, but nope, VAR was not interested. When you see the replay and it's clearly off his arm, well, I get it probably wouldn't have stood anyway, but the principle of consistency is just not there at all. It's fucking woeful at the best of times. They're graders around the Scottish game. Aye, exactly. It's like they try and tweak the rules to be like unbiased, and it just ends up making it look way more biased towards like certain teams. I mean, if you want examples, just look at the game yesterday between Rangers and Hearts. As much as Hearts deserved to win the game, I don't think that second one was. I don't think it was a penalty. I'll be honest with you. I think the guy's looking for it every day of the week, but that's the way and nature of the game now, and it's sad as fuck. It's a good steal for Rio. I was expecting the referee to blow the whistle there. This is what I'm talking about. Just no consistency. That was more of a foul than the other ones, but we've been allowed to play on ball into the box. It's half dangerous. Big deflection, could bounce awkward, and again the big man at the back, Diaz, is not looking comfortable at all, and Mayo as well does not look. Oh, he does not look comfortable. He had to fucking get that one away. Celtic have a throw in. That could have been dangerous as shit. Throw-in's just not the good, and we're being snappy with it. Passing's no good. Oh, passing is shite. Jesus Christ, we gave the ball away and it's just going to be an easy foul on Watkins, I think, no. Honestly, DC Hearts is real title contenders. I'm in the boat that I'm in last season, where it's like you need to wait until December. If they're still in the title fight by the time December, there you go. There's the Celtic fans funneling in, or it's the rest of them. You'd say about 50% were already in there. The other half are joining them now. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of pips the boys up a little bit, or if they end up playing worse as a virtue who actually knows. How you then, Schneid? Nice to see you, mate. You changed your name? Schnabino Music. Very cool. I'm doing alright, my guy. Hope you're well as well. How are you? I'm happy Hearts shows us. I was right about Russell Martin. I think everyone was right about Russell Martin. Every Celtic fan knew it was happening. Anyone that was a Southampton fan would have told you first hand exactly what was going to happen the second Martin got in. He'd waste a bunch of money on useless players, wouldn't really find a way to blend them into a team or system that the team traditionally plays, tries to make his own style and ends up looking worse. Should pass that at some point, Rio, you've got space. And instead it's some dead ass ball. Fantastic. Some slight pressure on them, but Killie will clear the lines calm enough. It's an awkward bounce. Carter stays with his man, fair enough, to Daniels there. He does well to hold his... does really well to hold himself up, actually, fair enough, but they still give the ball away. So that good work for nothing. He will not be too pleased with that one. Paul Wolf does not look happy on that far side either. Played forward down that far side. Is there a run on? Potentially. Not particularly. Played out into space. There could be a potential run on, but there's no easy options. It's laid and kind of poked across the middle of the line towards Scales. It'll be interesting to see where we go with this one. Sriracha just plays it calmly inside. Rio to Negrin, back out, good passing, but again it's just that last ball that is so aimless in behind, man. That's 3 times we've done that. See if it doesn't work the first time, you fucking idiot. Don't do it again. It's really straightforward stuff. Basic fucking stuff, man. Basic stuff, but they can't get it just at all good. This is why Celtic should have built more and still be in the Champions League. Yeah, but that's probably why the board's kind of slacked off. They're like, oh, well, Rangers aren't going to really be there this season. We could play like fucking second gear and still probably win the title comfortable. They're happy being consistently cushioned, let's say. Rangers don't even have the cushion. They've just got the chair and they're getting hit over the back of the head of it like it's the WWE. That's decent. Carter Vickers. Dude, He's played forward into space, that scales, that's an interesting one. How do you take that? Calm enough. That's a good ball in behind, there's no real consistent pressure, whether they're kind of staying the course. Jesus fucking Christ. 2 seconds. No. Are you there, mad? Very nice to see. It took me a while to even see that comment come out. I was very delayed. Hope you're good, mate. Hope you're good. Ball played in by Scale. That's not the greatest touch in the world for Negrin there either, mate. That doesn't help him with the second one. That's just 2 really bad touches back to back. Come on to Christ, lads. Played out by Carter Vickers. How's your touch, Sriracha? Keep it calm, mate. Simple and effective. Scales gets out towards Carter Vickers, or could be a run on. Use it. That's decent, but Maeda did that. Bro, why the fuck are we running with him as a striker if he's just not really playing well as a striker? Stop over fucking clocking your runs, man. It is no difficult at all, and you're making it look difficult. You got Schmeichel doing the polar opposite on the other end. He's got fuck all to do and he's making it look difficult. You got Maeda on the other end trying to make all the basic stuff look so unnecessarily hard. Just take a touch, let it settle at your feet and run with it. Do what you do best, man. Stop with this intricate fucking tiki-taka shit. We can barely play like Barnsley, let alone Barcelona, man. The shit has to stop. Straight up. We're going to be bottom of the league after next. I love the... like, it's just not exactly working out for you guys, I'll say that much, but I don't think you're going to get relegated. It would take a different kettle of fish entirely to fuck it that bad. You love your wee metaphors. I appreciate that. It's the only thing that keeps me alive, to be honest. Otherwise you just sit here in silence like, bro, I've witnessed about 500 minutes straight of football without Celtic scoring a goal, then I've had to be live for every minute of it. I don't know what type of Chinese torture method I'm being subjected to here, but I'd say this is kind of up there for sure. Ah, it's no good at all, man. Chase it down, dies, and make it at least somewhat hard. And like a man in his 50s, he's only kind of halfway there. You need to be fully at it and at him, you need to chase him down. It's no difficult. That's a good ball back by Pohoff, actually. Could open up some lanes for Killie, but they do the exact same thing. Panic and immediately go backwards. Yes. If I was watching the defensive derby, man, this would fucking be up there because, Christ, the defence is actually quite good for both sides, but that's it. Positionally, okay, but there's no real chances being made. Celtic have had 2 off the top of my head, if you're including that Tunekte chance, sorry. But we haven't seen too much of Balaguisha. We need to get him involved a bit more. That's noticeable as fuck out the gate. I think I've seen the boy touch the ball like 6 times, if that. How you doing, everyone? Nice to see you, mate. If Russell Martin is getting backed, we will be fighting relegation. Nah, I feel like you'll be tight. You'll be kind of battling it out for top 4. Keep in mind, guys, let me put it to you like this. Bear in mind last season in November how Aberdeen were like 9 points ahead in November. Technically closer to the end of the season than now. Remind me what happened again. The exact same thing. Like, that's why I'm not worried about Hearts too much. Up until like the end of December, If they're still in the title race then, I will take them seriously, but until that point I'm not, because I've seen it too many times, including from Hearts themselves, where they start very well, get to like the end of October, start of November, and then they fall off a cliff like they've been pushed off. Like they've been intentionally, they're like our old Looney Tunes cartoon, it's just like they stare at the fucking floor beneath them being opened up like, well, we're going to be shite now. Down they go, and they're like finishing 5th. So it's one of those, you kind of have to watch and observe. But what I will say is that Hearts do have a good amount of oomph towards them. The fact that they've kept Shanklin, the fact they do have alright players like that Braga fella, or is it Barga, whatever his name is. He looks alright as well. Obviously their youngsters are pretty interesting. There's a chance in the box, fuck, right off. They've somehow got to it. A few bobbles and barrages from Celtic trying to win the ball back, but it is eventually dealt with in the end, and Scales just kind of knocks the header from the ball forward. Not exactly the greatest approach play, I'll tell you that for free. 20 minutes gone, and so far all I can say is that I have more depression now, because we are not attacking as much as we thought we should have. We're comfortably holding the possession front, that's all good and fine and dandy, but that's it. That's all we have going in our favour. It's just not good at all. Ball, forward, how's your control? Fucking sick actually, but thankfully it bounces all the way through. Donovan, there we go. Cam, Carter. Nice, Scales. And all the defenders have had their wee touch the ball. How about we attack now? Nice. Cam Ferrillo. Tenecti's going to go backwards and just about kept in there by the Argentine, fair enough. How you doing, Megan? Nice to see you. Hope you're well as well. Even though Celtic haven't played real good, they're still getting wins. Barely, and even then, like the last few matches have just been draws for us. Like if you go back to the game against Kairat, basically, like all the crucial games for us, they've all ended 0-0, basically. It's kind of depressing in its own way if you think about it like that. Like we're signing strikers, but none of them are actually half decent. Also because we're not playing our strikers in their natural positions, which just makes less sense than before. Like you've signed Iniacho, it's like it makes sense, get him onto the pitch as soon as possible, get him some minutes, and this would be a great tee-up game. But nah, we need Dyson in there. You know, a left wing. I get it so you can get the two new boys on in Balaguisha and Tenecti, but still, you know, you can't really be fucking, it's one of those. The good thing right now is that Celtic and fans have actually been more civil and united for once. So you're not wrong. At least we're not trying to rip up fences or like we're basically just saying, look, board, use our apps, just use our pricks, leave, please. Like if you love the club as much as you say you do, either invest like fuck come January, or alternatively, go for it. Like actually just wait to the end of the season and then fucking stack it out. Like, we're not asking them to invest every single penny they've got. We're asking them just to invest what the team fucking makes for them back into the club, because we've sold Afkun and Ida and all that for 23 odd million and we've spent 7. So there should be 16 million that should be spent in January as a nice wee middle ground. Otherwise they can shut their holes and stop using that fucking excuse of, oh, it's UEFA sanctions. Right, Rangers still managed to get to the Europa League final numerous times in the knockout stages, and they technically work on less budget than we do. So I don't buy that excuse. What was their other one? With like genuinely their entire thing is, oh, because we want to build for the future. Go fuck yourselves. The only future they give a fuck about is how many houses and boats they can buy before they get popped out eventually. And when they do, it will be a great day for the club, because that's the only reason we're being held back. Straight up. That and a manager that just stalely picks tactics and for some reason wants to play a winger up front despite the fact that we've signed numerous strikers. It is a confusing one, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you're not wrong at all, Edward. Well, there is a set piece chance for Killie, so I'll kind of hold up our little chat and see if they can do something with this one. They can. Fantastic. Celtic FC win. How you doing, Tommy? Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're enjoying yourself. There was an attempt for someone there. I'm not honestly sure what the fuck he was trying. It was like a mix between a cross and a shot, but it was nowhere near a threat in the end. Maybe that will go down as a shot for Killie. I honestly do not know. Either way, football time. Let's run it forward. Carter out towards that far space. Run it in. That's a good pass if he can keep it in play. He can't. The whip cross is dead as fuck though, unless it took a deflection, which it didn't. Donovan can't pass. It's an interesting one for sure. Pretty good, Tommy. Can't complain about it too much in the aspects that we're winning. Like, mentally, we're playing better football, but we're not winning in the game. We need to get that goal. That's the big thing for us, man. If you're asking me personally how I am, mixed bag, honestly. Pretty chilled week for the most part. Got some stuff done. Can't complain too much. How are the new players looking? Tenecti looks interesting. That's going to be a foul for Celtic, surely. I was going to say, yeah. Poloff was the one that brought him down there. One of the two of the midfielders that were on his ass anyway. I mean, Tenecti's been okay. Can't really complain about it too much. I mean, he's making runs, making good passing connections with him and Srirachi on that far side. Can't say too much for Balikwisha just because we've not seen too many attacking approach rates from them. Again, it's been very minimalistic up front. You've seen more attacking offensive creation from the midfielders than you have the wingers so far, but can't complain too much in that aspect. That's a good steal back, actually, really good steal back. This is what I'm talking about with that Tenecti. He does have a bit of oomph about him. But again, no support in that final third because Maeda doesn't want to drop in. Like, you need a striker to do in that situation, and it's allowed Killie to steal the ball back. And in fact, they could have a break of their own, but thankfully they can't pass either. So we survived that one. Jesus Christ, man, it's a battle with the broken passes. Not watching the Hibs game next week if nobody still want to put us out the cup. Who do we have again? Falkirk, right? We should beat Falkirk regardless how shite we are. But at this point I would not be surprised. I genuinely would not be even slightly incensed about it at all of that. And I'd just kind of be like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, the question is, like, because this is the thing that I always see people, whenever they're talking about sacking or something, who the fuck do you replace him with? Like, Eric Ten Hag? Bro, you do that and you're basically cementing yourself to death. Like, you need to actually scout a manager out before you start yapping about replacing them. It's the same thing that I say about Rodgers. Like, sure, it might be white, like, do I want to see him, like, move on at some point? Yes. But we need to have a manager that is going to come in that makes sense. Like, if we had verbal confirmation from Knutson that he would come in and cover us if Rodgers left at the end of the season, then I put my hands up and say, do not care, that's good enough, happy with that. But Rangers just have this habit of pulling the trigger too early and then forcing someone in the door way too fast. And then it's basically, what they should have done is just let Barry Ferguson run out the rest of the fucking time until they found a decent, actually efficient replacement, and not just pick some random reject for Southampton and go, he'll do. It would have been so easy for them to actually scout out someone more respectable if they waited a couple of weeks. They could have had so many other options, but they didn't. They panicked way too early and brought in the first face that made sense. It's just so silly. Ferguson got, like, he might have not got the tactics right all the time, but he had the mentality, he had the identity behind them, and that is probably what pisses a lot of Rangers fans off. So it's one of those. You're not wrong at all, Megan. It's like both sides, Glasgow have mutually agreed to blow up at the same time because vibes, I suppose. We have to do everything together like a toxic couple. If you're going to be like that, then I'm going to be like that, but worse. Like, fuck's sake. Stop it and just play your game, lads. It's no hard. Ball at any space, is there a cross on? There was. However, like all things in my life recently, quite shite. It was nowhere near a good enough cross. McGregor. Nice to see you, son. Good shit. He's in the final third. That's a good pass for Srirachi out towards Tenecti. Good feet for the wee Moroccan. We'll give him credit. That's camp. Pass in is decent. The touch is absolutely fucking woeful. Lads, you've got to move with a bit more pace and purpose than that. Come on. Take your man on, big fella. You can get the cross away. Quick cross it, please. Oh my god, we're trying to play the intricate inside stuff that never works. You need to get out to the wing and cut it across, man. It's no hard. That is where Killie concede most of their chances. Ah, it definitely does. That's an argument both sets of fans would take, honestly, yeah. Like we're both just as depressed as each other watching this. That's a good potential break forward here. Is there a cut inside? There could be. Chance for Celtic, maybe. No, the pass into the box is way too intricate, and for the millionth fucking time, we just try and do a little bit too much. Ugh. I got onto the board. Yeah, I mean, if that was their first pick, then that is genuinely depressing by a fucking ton of metrics. Well, at least when Rodgers came in, it made sense for us. It was a guy that had proven success before. He just had to kind of win the fans back a little bit. But Martin had literally just had one of the worst ever seasons as a manager with Southampton, and they were like, yeah, he's the guy that got Southampton relegated. Well, I don't think it was the one that was manager when they got relegated, but you know what I mean. Yeah, no, genuinely. A lot of Celtic fans that I've spoke to are in the same boat. They feel like Ferguson would have made actual sense because you wouldn't have had to pay any money. If you want to get rid of Martin now, you're paying millions. Just the exact same as last season with Kilmarnock. You bring in some fucking fancy-ass modern tactics manager that doesn't apply for a traditionally tactical team like Rangers. That's like this the polar opposite for Celtic. Like you feel like Martin would tactically make more sense for a team like Celtic than Rangers because Rangers are set in their ways, Celtic are more adapted. But we have a manager that sticks with one tactic. Like it's so fucking confusing at the best of times, you know. It's a good ball in for Rio. And the ball across out towards space ain't half bad either. Let's see what happens here. The Moroccan steps inside, got some movement going. That could be decent, but once again tries to be too intricate with the pass. And it's so bad, honestly, man. Like half an hour into this shit and we barely witnessed anything of fucking note. Why is this the same? Oof. I did see he's got that Cornelius guy, that Canadian, and on Arsenal he looks okay, but that was about it. I wish Zach Bailey had a better record than Russell Martin. Honestly, this all started the second that you got rid of Giovanni. I think you should have just kept him. They had like one slight slip up, and you just cast them out to the Wolves. How you doing, Melissa? DeMarco, that's a hell of a fucking cool ass second. And not doing too bad. Pretty content. I mean, we're just trying to suffer with what we're seeing so far. Barely anything offensive of note, so you know, one of those ones, I'm afraid. But there's still 15 minutes. Maybe a chance happens. We can always hope for a chance, right? That's the bare minimum I'm fucking hoping for at this point. Ugh. Gerrard isn't coming back. Nah, man, he's too happy collecting his multi-millions out in the Saudis. Give the stream a like. Aye, Kevin, that's what they do. Anyone that's in here, if you're new, consider subscribing because vibes, we always appreciate extra help. But liking the stream does actually help. It keeps us in the algorithm. Oh, as soon as I fucking say that, we actually had a chance. Hold on, Kevin might be onto something here. Tenecti was literally, as soon as I said that, made a perfectly well-timed run. The ball in for McGregor was stunning as well, by the way. But, he just doesn't really control himself. He tries to, softly dink it over Stryjek, but he just doesn't really get a grip of the touch at all, and it just kind of cannons up and over. That's so disheartening, because that ball in was probably the fucking one good thing we have seen this half, fully. It's a chance, though, so we take it, you know, silver linings. Barry Ferguson. I feel like they would. If they do part Martin out, I feel like that's what they would do this time round, right? I think they would just obviously prioritise having someone like Ferguson and just be like, look, we'll give you a bunch of money at the end of the season, but we need you to just get us over the line, top 3 minimum as of now. I feel like that would be the goal, especially if Martin doesn't win either of his next 2 games. Killie had a half chance there, but thankfully the ball just kind of deflects and bobbles out towards the side, and at the end, comfortably gathered by Schmeichel. I am pretty sure that's the first time the ball has been in his gloves. Spread out towards Carter Vickers. The big man would have had a better record than Vegan. I genuinely think he would have. Like, I might not like Ferguson for who he was as a player, but as a coach, he at least managed to understand where to get the good, like, sequences he play. Like, you've had 30 minutes where he would be absolutely clueless as a tactician, but for 60 minutes, a good man manager. And that's better than 90 minutes of sheer pish that they've got now. I feel like Russell Martin's probably teaching them the worst tactics possible. Like, don't touch them because that would be considered harassment. And we don't want that. Like, Martin, mate, you're in Scotland. The rule is simple. Break legs or break records. That's it. You don't have any other option as a Rangers fucking coach. Definitely an awkward one there, but a chance on that far side potentially. Killie are just kind of teeing themselves up. Yeah, definitely one of those interesting games for sure. Nothing looks concrete or easy for us. That's probably the best way to describe this, you know what I mean? Okay, you're ripping the phone first now. Well, the ball into the box is actually kind of half dangerous. Killie have a chance here. Deflected, punted away. Kilmarnock will take that as long as it's not too dangerous. But it's a throw-in on that far side instead. Why are we so incapable of clearing the fucking line, Schmeichel? Stop it. Right back to goalkeeper. And then occasionally, Edward, don't you worry about it, will involve the left back. Then he'll pass it back to the goalkeeper. Well, they've got some big bodies in here that can cause some problems. Diaz, Mayo, Daniels, a certain... Oh, well, it doesn't even beat the first man. That was just weak throw, but it's a deflected cross. It could be potentially dangerous. Killie go for a half overhead kick attempt. I can kind of respect it. Fortunately, they're shite, so nothing really happens in the end. But tried to go for the clever passing behind, and it didn't work out for him. Fair enough, fair enough. Exactly. I think that's why a lot of people... See the way people look at Barry Ferguson as a Rangers fan? I feel like that's how a lot of people look at Neil Lennon. Like, you can't sit there and say, is he the best tactician we've ever had? No. But a guy that understands what it is to run a club like that, 100%. You can't take anything away from him in that sense. I feel like they should have just kept him. That's a good ball into space. Go on, McGregor. This is your range, mate. Opts to lay it off instead, Donovan. Back towards his skipper. Played a cross. Good pass. Sirachi and Tenecti are both there if they want to be used. That's a lovely one too. Tenecti could have a shot for range, but it's just not good enough. This is what I'm saying. The passing play, very good. The possession hold up, very decent. But the finishing product every time has just lacked the goddamn ability. I respect it, wee man. I do appreciate the fact he took it first time, because he knew he was going to get closed down if he took that extra touch. But you got to at least be trying to work the goalkeeper. Put it within a yard of the post at least, man. Okay, something's happening there. Billy Wishin. I think it was Thompson that were having a bit of afters on that far side. You're away making coffee. Honestly, it would be a lot, Kevin, that will score within like the 2 minutes that happens, but do enjoy. I hope the coffee goes hard. Carter. Coming off his scales, rolls it out far side. How's your control? Decent in for Sirachi. Got to make the run there. Tenecti, calm. That's great feet for Tenecti. Actually, he's got in behind. He could have another chance. Played into space. Surely we get a shot away here, but that is so poor. Negrin just doesn't really sort his feet out, and the shot straight hits Stragic in the end, and now Killie can potentially be on a break. But that's another great challenge for Tenecti. I love this boy already. That's not a fucking foul, beating you bastard. Find a hole and jump in it. What do you mean? It's a yellow card as well, bro. Are you fucking... What? He wins the ball? He doesn't really fucking touch the man, you stupid spanner sack. What the fuck is that? He's just angry that Celtic actually have a player that looks somewhat alright. He's like, no, we can't have that. Tenecti's in the book, and I'll be honest with you, bullshit call. Absolute bullshit call. Jesus Christ, man. But to answer your question, Megan, pretty good. Tenecte's ripping them apart, but the SFA will keep it in check. I thought he was Moroccan. Apparently he's Tunisian. At least by the flat. I thought he was Moroccan. That's so bad of me not to know that. Apologies, I probably offended a whole nation with that one. Fuck. Sorry, he's Tunisian. How you doing, Flash? Nice to see you, bro. How are the two wingers looking? Alright to some degree, to be honest with you. Not seen too much for Balikwisha, that's the one thing I will say, Megan. Never a fucking foul, poor officiating again. Yes, that much is true, bro. That is exactly it. Just classic SFA in a nutshell. Clear that way, Carter. Good man. There could be a chase down if Maeda can get the bounce. The goalie's way doesn't. Killie do their best to try and keep it within play, and Celtic do well to spin back. I like that for Donovan, that was calm. But the pass back was fucking whoosh. Michael recovers it. And he should just pass out to the side. There we go. Scales, run it, man. We've got 5 minutes. A goal before the end of half time would be pretty fucking necessary. I am not doing another game where we sit here at 0-0 until 90 minutes, man. I am going to lose my shit if that is what I have to suffer through. No. Respectfully, no. Fuck off with this. The one player that's played half decent this half has actually been our new boy though. Tenecte has been very decent. Best chance of the game came off of that McGregor pass. If Tenecte could just softly take that touch, it could have been 1-0. Had other half chances. Killie have only really had one genuine opportunity. The other two have just been more or less half cracks for range. Just to try and force the issue basically. Not expecting too much for this game, by the way, like a scrappy 1-0. I mean, I had it down as a 3-1 in my head because it makes fucking sense, right? Like, we've got some pretty high scoring results at Rugby Park. We need a bounce back performance, especially with the games coming up in the future. So I thought we would kind of go at them today, but I didn't expect the lineup. I thought we would have started with an Iacho. We didn't. I can't really say we've seen too much of Maeda. A couple of hold-up touches here and there, but that's honestly been about it. Good play on that far side. Here's Balikwisha. Rolls it back for Kilmarnock. He should just lay that in his space and does. Their Scales, who's pretty much pressed in just past the semicircle on the halfway line. So Celtic are going for a full court press, it seems, if to kind of close this half out. Rio slightly inconsistent there with the touch, but he does make sure that the ball bounces back in a Celtic territory, played back in towards Scales from Carter Vickers. There could be an early ball here, and he does see it and picks it early. That's a great pass, Scales. Good for the fall back, decent for the Argentine. Will take that. Good shit. Sirachi played out for Carter Vickers. He might just have a crack. Oh, he does have a crack. That's not bad at all. Like I said, just force the issue. That's just a bit of a better sign of things to come. When it comes for a centre back of all people, it's not a bad hit as well for Carter. It's a well struck shot and a well timed save for Strijic. He had to get something around it and tip it around the post. Corner kick for us, 42 minutes been and gone. Definitely an interesting one. Would have been typical Celtic that the first goal in nearly 500 minutes domestically would be a fucking wonder goal for range. That's an awkward ball in. It's not really taking a bounce in either team's favour, but Celtic will claim it. Balikwisha has it. Stands his man up. It's got Sirachi there as support. Tenecte there too. Opts to play it back. Nigrin, good pass. Balikwisha, good feet. That's decent. Takes his man on. Tries to get past twice, but I think it took a nick off the inside of his right leg. It's out for a throw-in for Killie instead. Yay. Will we see any actual today? I think we will at some point, man. I'd be very surprised if we didn't. Especially with the fact Maeda's not been playing his best stuff. But what the case will be, does Maeda get pushed out to the left and we take Tenecte off, who's been our best player quite comfortably this game so far? Or do we risk obviously running him on a yellow? Definitely still time for us to do something though, that's for damn sure. Played out towards that far side, Chase Down's on. Donovan. Calm enough, wee man, we'll take that, but could have passed it a wee bit earlier. McGregor switches the play across towards the Irishman, Scales out towards Sirachi. Good ball. Cam passing. Keeps it somewhat close to hand, but again, just ends up rolling back through to Scales. He's probably had more touches than any other Celtic player this half by a mile. Carter Vickers goes for the long ball, and it's a fucking excellent pass. Seems he's woken up. Played out to space. Nygren, far side, tries to get the cross away early, but it just deflects upwards rather than away. Killie will try their best to retain the ball. The pass is actually very clean as well. Polworth might try and break up that far side. Good taking touch. Daniels manages to roll it forward. There could be a chase down here. Killie get to the ball. There's a bit of afters there. That surely has to be a foul for us. What the fuck is the consistency, man? Just drags him onto the floor and basically bundles him over like it's the goddamn MMA. What the fuck? Referee isn't interested. Of course he isn't, but Tenecti gets booked for winning a tackle. Fucking stupid, nonetheless. Played inside, good taking touch. Mackenzie's trying to find any source of space there, gets it in eventually. The ball in is not too bad. No one's on that far side. Donovan, mate, where the fuck is your positioning at? And it's an awkward clearance and it's behind for a corner kick. Nygren's the one that gets his leg to it. I do not understand how that wasn't a foul a few minutes ago. That was ridiculous. The positioning defensively there was piss poor as well for Donovan. Does not get close to his man at all. Polworth had a very easy ball into the box. How the fuck did he not get that foul earlier? It was straight up bundled over. Corner kick instead. This would be prime time for us to concede. I've been asking for a goal, but I do not want it to be for the other fucking team. That would just be an insult to injury. Ball into box. Not really dealt with. Fucking hell, could have been awkward, but thankfully that is a great taking touch. Again from that winger. Tenecti's having a hell of a game. The referee decides that's enough. We've suffered long enough. It's half time. I'm not really sure what to make of it, to be fully honest with you. Very mixed bag. I'm not too disappointed or happy with it. It's like, yeah, we're playing okay football. We've had more of the ball. The passing's been okay. But it's the same issue every fucking time. There's just no consistency in the finishing department whatsoever. So you kind of have to look at it like that. It's annoying as shit. Just here now so I can see when things come through. Apologies, that took an extra second. Let's go back to this one. If you've got any games you take a look at, that gives me the fear every time I fucking do that now. Jesus Christ. I feel like my PC's going to stagger to the end of this one. Nonetheless though, nonetheless. It would seem that Celtic have forgotten how to score goals. That much, very much does seem like we just need to bring fucking someone on that kind of gives a bit more of a dynamic range up front. For me personally, Nygren off, McCowan on. Push McGregor in that into a more central position, let McCowan take the central area, and that gives us a bit more options. It also allows McGregor to take hits for range. It also allows Rio to take those riskier passes over the top because he'll have an extra body, and McCowan can hold the space. He's actually physical enough because Nygren's getting bodied too much, especially on that inside run whenever he's trying to get through in between like Polworth and that Diaz fellow at the back. Like whenever he's in that space, it just requires either Mayo or Thompson to step out and cover that extra bit of space. And I cannot mind for the life of me the name of the fucking guy in the midfield. Well, honestly no, but we'll just take a look and see. What the fuck is going on with Google Maps? Like genuinely, it is ripping the piss today with how slow it is. Show me the fucking lineup. Jesus Christ. Aye, that Watson. Like he's just kind of holding up the areas where he has to as well. It's an interesting one from that perspective. What's the Liverpool score? I'm pretty sure that one's still 0-0. We can check in. Well, I would check, but honestly, guess my PC's hanging on by a thread right now, so I'll use my phone and physically check, I suppose. We'll have a little gander through certain results. Let's see, Premier League. Right at the end of that game, and it's still all square. Been totally dominated one side by Liverpool, but they've had 2 shots on target. I think Burnley will take the point if they can hold on and get it from that position, to be honest with it. Get Moyes out of Everton and into the Scotland job. I don't think he'd want to leave Everton right now, he's having a pretty good time, I think. You do have Man United and City kicking off not too long after this as well, by the way. I'm pretty sure right as this game ends. What were the other scores? I don't know. Yeah, and on the 20th it's obviously Liverpool against Everton. That'll be an interesting one. But I don't think they'll be too pleased with the draw away to Burnley. Especially if they've had the chances that they've had, to be honest. I feel like Moyes would need to have some form of stroke before he would consider ever taking the Rangers job willingly. I feel like he would need to be at like a bottom of his career. See, like Neil Warnock when he joined Aberdeen. Or that type of bad. Watching Liverpool today is what I expect from the players that don't fit our shirts. No bottle at all. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I'm not really sure what to really say here. Like, tactically, I've already laid down what makes sense to me. Like, the things that genuinely we would have to do to get something out of this game. But it's so fucking frustrating to watch at times because you're, like, sitting here and expecting us to dig something out, find, like, a way in behind, try and get some form of clear-cut chance, but it's just not happening at all. There is not a chance in hell. I think hell would freeze over before he would ditch the wages at Everton and the brand new stadium and the actual good football they've got going on and the investments that they've got going on, and trade that to come up to Glasgow where at best he's just going to be shat on if he isn't consistent basically right out of the gate. It's one of those ones, you know. Not really sure what to make of it, to be fully honest, but I don't see that being the case. I don't see Moyes ever joining Rangers unless it's like for a specific reason, like a project type beat. An interesting one for sure. So I'm kind of tempted to bring up the Liverpool and Burnley feed just to watch the end of it, but there's only apparently 1 or 2 minutes of additional time, so it's one of those. Just feels like everything that could go wrong with us will go wrong. Yeah, you're definitely not wrong. It's probably the only thing that's right in that whole sentence is just that statement in itself. With all the off the field stuff, it's just and just with our reaction to it all, it's just wild. Yeah, no, like this is the thing that kind of a lot of Celtic fans, like, we're not furious, we're not like wanting to storm the gates and rip the board out of their fucking positions, but what we're asking for is clarity on why they do have the shit the way they do, and the response to it was the most corporate response you could have asked for. Like, there was no emotion behind that statement. It was basically, we see the amount of money you give us, however, UEFA told us no. What? Bruges spends about the same amount as us and they're able to get into the fucking rounds of 16 and stuff like that. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the UEFA's fault. No, it's not. I get that they have like a sanction per like national like wages, but the fucking Swiss league, they have teams that do fine. The Belgian leagues, they do fucking fine. So do the Dutch leagues. They all work on similar-ish budgets, with the exception of 1 or 2 teams. So it's always confusing. Always confusing whenever they rattle off random shit like that, because you're like, bro, that makes no sense. You're telling me that you've made like significant amounts of profit, which even clubs in those leagues don't do, but they're allowed to spend 20-30 million every single fucking window like it's nothing, but you can't spend more than 10. I don't buy that for a second, especially if they're more than happy to sell our players for 20 million, because if it's all about UEFA sanctions, why would you sell our best fucking players if you know from a fucking demographic and board position that you can't replace them? It makes no sense. That's that argument. Dead, done, buried. There's no substance to it. It can be fucking so easily ripped apart, and the only reason they released a statement is because they know if they did have actual meeting, that would get ripped apart the second it's said. They would be able to fucking say nothing in that statement in an actual face-to-face meeting. 1-0 Liverpool? No fucking way. I'm keeping tabs on it now. Oh, it is a penalty apparently. Well, they've just scored. Liverpool are 1-0 up. Yes! No fucking way! Well, there we go. Even at their worst, they still win games. It's just not good at all. It's just not good at all. I don't know. There we go. Can't believe that. I literally just checked to see if Liverpool have indeed scored their goal. So, fair enough. Yes, at least one of my teams have got something. Same usual push. How you doing, Hugh? I don't know if you're a new face or not, but we'll see what you're saying. Same usual push. Celtic need to improve transfer windows and trying to compete in Europe. I no bother not putting money in and look at the English bottom league compared to Scottish teams. See, this is another point that I'm trying to make as well. We're operating on the same type of budgets as teams like fucking Plymouth Argyle and Millwall. And I get what the board are saying to some degree, right? If you're playing devil's advocate, the way they'd look at it is like, lads, we've never been the type of, board to work that way where we just buy players, because it's never been sustainable for us. Anytime we've tried that in the past, it doesn't really work. Blah, blah, blah. However, every other Celtic fan will just turn around and say, right, okay, but most of our best signings have been risky ones that we've taken because we've had no other option because of how fucking stupidly bad yous are when it comes to actually giving the right type of tools out. The only reason that Ange was successful was because he came from the Japanese leagues. He's played, he'd managed there, he had a good understanding of where you could pick out special players that could fit Celtic's system without having to break the bank. It's different when you're Rodgers, because Rodgers, most of the time, and most of the players that he knows could fit into the system are from his days at Chelsea, Swansea, Liverpool, like those types of teams. And while that's good to some extent, they're always going to be over expensive, right? You're going to be paying like 5-6 million for a bare minimum player, like what we did last season with Ida. Like, you need to be able to have a mix of like a manager that can tactically get the best out of them, but at the same time not spend too much where the board's going to question every single fucking player that's brought in. It's one of those. 3 points for Liverpool. That's good for us, I suppose. We'll take that. What about the money and tickets income for Europe? Exactly. Like, this is the thing. If they wanted to talk about limitations and profit, then what about the ticket sales, the shit outside the ground, all the fucking little things that they do with like the fucking Christmas musicals and all that stuff? Like, fans buy into all of that. That makes them millions every year. And yet apparently it's UEFA. Like, UEFA, there's a guy at UEFA, it's like, we've seen you've had a great season profit wise, and while you do have the leeway to spend about 25 million, we're going to cap you at 6. In what fucking world is that how UEFA works? I get that they have percentage caps, but for Celtic, worst case scenario is we'd have a purpose cap of 50%, which if you base that on the profit we've made over the last 3 seasons, that's still, at minimum, 21 million that we could have spent this summer without it even affecting us. We spent 7.5 maybe, so when you look at it from that perspective, it's so easy to dismantle their arguments. It's like they sat there and went, how can we make it not about us? How can we blame everybody else except us, when the core issue at the end of it, at the bottom of the fucking line, It is them. They're the ones that make the executive decisions. They're the ones that decide if we go for certain players. It's not the fucking manager. I don't know why they're trying to blame him and rope it around to be like, oh yeah, no, it's everybody else's. No, it's the boards, straight up. They fuckers are the ones that make the final decisions, and most of their final decisions have been for the benefit of them in keeping their pockets fine, not the club. If they gave a fuck about the club, then they would have gone for all the players that we've missed out on. Think about the players that we missed out on just this transfer window. Fiskard, that would have been one of the key strikers sorted if we just put the extra $1 million down. We didn't, because the board wanted to be stingy cunts. Look what happened. We lost out on him and we had to replace him at the end of the window last second with Iniacho, a player that basically got fucking thrown out of Sevilla because they just didn't need him. So it's just stupid. So if you gave Scotland the same money that you gave England, then honestly a lot of the problems we would have would be eerily similar. Because there's just lack of investment. That just seems to be it. The club are more ambitious when and they're on it. You're not even wrong, Neil. That's the fucking thing. It's like we had more ambition when we didn't really have to compete, and it's just because we know Rangers are going through a bit of a lull. It's like, oh, we can match that dip. Like if Rangers are dipping like this, we just need to dip like that. We just need to be a little bit less worse, which is fine, but fuck off at the same time. The second half's about to get underway, so we'll just do that. Breeze for like 2 or 3 seconds. Fantastic, we'd love to see it, but we should be back on the way relatively soon. Let's hope for the best. I'll just respond to this real quick. Nah, pretty much sure that's the issue. We're just waiting for the referee to give us the go ahead. The second half's about to get underway. Right, we got everything going up. That is the confirmation of full time and all that stuff in that one. We told you about 3 years ago after the argument with the Spurs, oh, we don't want to become like them financially. Of course, it's because you'll need to hold us. So yeah, I mean, pretty much. Doesn't fucking matter anymore. Yeah, it's all well and good to be like, yeah, you know, we're doing better than Rangers, but that's easy to say. There's like 90% of the teams in Britain are doing better in a lot of senses than Rangers are, from like a indoors perspective. But nonetheless, we need to certainly translate onto the park. It doesn't necessarily matter. One thing we will say is we still should have a fucking squad that's good enough to get wins on the board. We need a goal though. Whipped cross into the box, that's the first thing that we do, and already a little bit more progressive than what we've seen for most of the first half. Ball out towards that far side, Donovan into space. Well, kind of caddied out, to be honest, in the end there. The passing behind from Balawisha was promising, but no real end product, sadly. Exactly that. So the board want people to just sit there and be like, oh yes, that's fine, can I accept this? And nah, some of the best times in our club are usually when you have managers are like, "Look, bro, if you want us to do well, invest. It's not that fucking difficult." I think that's a foul. Yeah, I'm high the Cotties man a little late though. It's Merlin Fair Thompson's just about getting back on his feet. It's well and good to say that, guys, but keep in mind that entire ethos is what cost Rangers their status in 2012, because your entire thing was about how do we match Celtic, how do we keep pace with them, do we just overspill it? I think it's just woven into both clubs. It's the same way if you look at Man United and Man City, like they both operate on different fundamentals. City are a more financially sound team, but Man United are the more traditional one that's got more of the kind of like dead set methods. But both teams are suffering in their own ways right now. You know, I mean, United for obvious reasons, they're just not doing well league-wise, but City have had their fucking big share of problems too. Please have a pass. You picked nobody in a white and green shirt. Donovan, mate, you need to stop trying to cross it if you can't cross. Like, respectfully, know your limitations, because that's too many times now. Rio. McGregor. Carla Vickers just switches it across. That's calm enough. Keep it composed, mate. Not the worst touch for Rio, actually. Gets inside of his man rather than kind of trying to take the inside touch and spin on it, get it back out towards the flanks. So he went central there. I like that. Maeda tries to be a bit too personal with the flick, doesn't work out, and the clearance is actually a great pass, but under immediate pressure, Celtic win it back and lose it just as quick. This is very much 1-2 pass territory. We steal it back. Is there a chance down that far side? Is he onside? Who knows? Ball across is dangerous. It's the side netting again. Oh, that's disheartening. I think it was Sriracha that was made the final kind of dart in behind there. Let's see what happened. Oh, don't think he was offside as well. That's the shame about it. Unwanted start. We'll love to see it. Celtic manager worst ever Champions League record. I'd say he's up there for sure, but I'm definitely sure there's managers with straight defeat records. Maybe in terms of multiple games, probably, yeah, actually. He told every Rangers fan that the 49ers was the wrong choice. I think most Rangers fans knew that that was the wrong choice, because if you Americanise any team, it's always going to have like that 2-3 year grace period where they're absolute shite because they don't actually understand the traditional values of the club. That was the time when the club was always looking to uncover a Wanyama, Van Dijk or a Dembele. The ambition's totally gone. Those deals almost happening every year at one stage. Genuinely. That's the sad thing. It's like we're still looking for those players, but now you've got so many teams and academies that are functioning on the same premise. And most leagues can offer just a wee bit more, so it's harder to kind of get those golden ones. Most of the time we get the silver. We have to turn it into gold. Well, there's always good key young players out there, it's just about finding them. The issue in modern football is that if it's a very good youngster, chances are you need to pay in the millions to get them. It's good for Donovan. Balawisha does well to try and shovel it, but doesn't get past the first nor second time. I feel like he might be one of the changes that might have to happen, and that's he's going to look for the fill so quickly. Jesus Christ, man, that is desperate. Oh, well, they have to. You know what I mean? It's like people during the Civil War when they sing songs about their own side being killed. It's like more or less like if you don't sing you cry mentality. I can tell you from like a ground level, a good amount of them really could not have cared less. That's a good ball. And oh shit, Killie do have a chance. That was a massive opportunity on the far side there. Was he onside? That's the first thing we'd need to check. He was definitely on because of the delayed cross. I think Rio would have kept everybody flat and level. Thankfully for us, a lost touch. It will technically go down as a chance for Killie, maybe. It's a poor giveaway, for fuck's sake. Donovan, mate, stop. At least he wins the ball back. We can respect that. Good shit, King. Come on, boys. You've gave them a half chance. That's all there is to be. Fuck's sake, Carl. I mean, that's not good enough at all. Throw in for Killie, but we're just kind of on level with our box, to be honest. So it is this long throw territory if they want to take that risk, and I think that's what they're doing. They got more of the physical presence towards the tunt. That's going to be an interesting one. Actually, here we go. Here we go. They're doing the tunt throw. try and kind of bail it out and get it to like bunt and take that touch in behind. Doesn't necessarily work out. Celtic clear the lines, but that is a weird deflection. Killie might get another chance, deflects again. Celtic are doing well to get bodies in the way, but that's just about all we can do right now. Sirachi eventually gets there and gets the ball forward, but Killie will probably try and retain it. It's not the greatest first touch, and Celtic managed to win a throw-in out of that somehow. 0-0 written all over this. Not fucking too right. I was very optimistic saying 3-1, man. I was actually hopeful when I said 3-1. What a bullshit thing that was to do. Damn. Play forward into space. Come on, Donovan, mate. Move it. McGregor, good touch inside. Gets it out into space. That's just about got away with that one there. We need a goal. Please. It sucks watching fucking stale-ass football, man. The only goals I have seen us score from any perspective was 2 goals against Belarus as a Scotsman. Otherwise I've nearly gone a fucking month. How's that a yellow card? Jesus Christ, man. You're happy to hand them out for us, but they don't get any given against them for the same type of shit. And again, I wouldn't really call that a yellow card offence. The boy goes down clear as day looking for it, but Watkins gets away with one. And Negrin's in the book. Fabulous. Sent forward by Killie, headed up, not easily dealt with. Paraguay, not the greatest touch, but man, it's getting staler, bit by bit, not good at all. No, looks like we have some changes getting warmed up on that side. Tierney being one of those faces, so it'll be interesting. It's going to be a throw-in for Killie on that far side, most likely. But sustained pressure from the boys. Got to give Killie their credit. They came out the second half with a bit more bite about them. Maybe a quick cross if they can force it here. Thompson. Switched up high and wide, takes a bobble and bounce, and Schmeichel will retain it. That could be a very good ball out for the back, and actually a very good punt for the back if Schmeichel can best it. It's going to deflect, and it'll just kind of bounce out towards the side. It's more than fair enough in a lot of aspects, but a good bit of sustained play. You can't really take your eyes off the game now because it is side to side. Here's Rio. Negrin. Space if you want to try and funnel it out towards that left hand side. There's a cross on. There is a good cross on. There's a ball! Yes! Yes! It's a fucking goal, man! And it's a header for one of the smallest boys in the box. That is about as good as you can ask. Good shit, Dyson. Thank you, man. Thank you for finally showing up. Celtic have won. Lovely ball into space. You have to give credit where it's due. That was a genuinely well-placed cross. And it's a lovely flick on for Maeda. He just uses the power of the cross rather than trying to use his own muscles. He's well timed, he's definitely onside, gets in behind his man, picks his spot, and it's a lovely placed header. Puts it in the one place the keeper cannot get near it. Strigic tries, but he just kind of has to stand there and accept that it's past him. Ball manages to hit the back of the net, and finally, we have a nice bit of play that leads to a goal. About fucking time, boys. It's nice. Lovely ball for Sirachi, give him credit. Lovely stuff. Great header for Dyson. Not the usual route you would expect us to get a goal from. They're checking it for obvious reasons, I guess, but it's definitely onside. So there's no reason why it shouldn't stand, and we've got some substitutions on the far side ready to come on as well, and it looks like Balaguisha will be coming off. He's not had the greatest game, to be honest. Forrest is going to be coming on. And Sirachi, who just got that assist, his last contribution to the game, he's going to come off, and Kieran Tierney will take his place for the final half an hour plus whatever really we've got of additional time, but we got one. We take it. That's something. Absolute plug. Oh, I was going to say if we immediately conceded right afterwards, that would have been typical us. A big of a factor is the is the looming UK potential global banking crash playing into Celtic's reluctance to spend. If anything, it would give you more reason to spend, because if money isn't going to mean shit in a few years in the UK, spend it while you have it, so you at least have some physical properties on the ground. You know what I mean? It's like people that buy up houses a lot. Oh, it's better to have it in like physical assets than cash. Got back just in time. You'll have this yet. Oh, that's awkward. Bounces. Well, to be fair, I wasn't looking at the screen, so I didn't see if there was a 1-0 thing in there. But yeah, keep in mind there's always about a 30-40 second delay. We'll allow it since it's gas. This one time, let's see if there's a ball through it. There's another good run actually. Step inside, ball across, overlap, that could open up lanes, no one's there at the back stick, and I tell you what, it's a weird looking cross as well. Kind of settles on the top of the, just kind of settles on top of the net to be fair. A little unlucky, but it is what it is. See, if you actually knew the history about that flag, it was just converted into the Monarchs flag, but it was originally flown by the Highlanders. It wasn't flown by any Monarchs originally, mate, it was just taken over by the Monarchs when we integrated into the UK. If you know your history, you know your history. I get that the flag has more of a modern meaning now, but I just have it because it's better than having a saltire. I can still love my country and support a club that plays in the country, chief, like, bro. I love that argument, it's so weak. Played in by Scales. Is there a potential pass? There is, calm enough. Oh, here we go. Chance. That's a great ball. Is he going to get there first? He is. Nestajic does well to get out in time. That could have been something though. A little bit more bite about us now. We've had a wee stint. Nice to see. Actually getting shots away. That's decent. Well, 3 minutes is a bit epic, right? I mean, I can't literally be on Google. It's 61 and it's just about to go 61 on this one. But with the stream delay on top of it, yeah, it'll be about like 30-40 seconds probably at least. Unless you've had ads play. You could have your ads. No, you're not even wrong, girl. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that Martin hasn't at least had like the questions put to him by the board, but I think the board have to stick with their choice, right? That's the issue they're having. Now the changes happened literally right afterwards, Kevin. If you want your random fact of the stream, does anyone know why we have yellow flags? Or at least why we used to originally have them yellow rather than blue? Well, that was a headed chance. I'm not sure who got in the end. I think Scales. It was Scales. He kind of got on to the end of it there, but kind of square heads at best. Just does not go anywhere near the goal. Thank you, Fly. Very cool. That's an awkward pass back for Scales, but it should be recovered fine enough by Schmeichel. Ball's played in the open space. There's a bit of a struggle match going on there. It's won by Killie, but the foul's been given in away in the end. There was a lot of shot pulling going on there, I'll say that for free. Maybe Martin will go now. This is like another defeat for them Celtic. Well, I mean, I'd say so to some degree, mate, but it's the same kind of issue that we were talking about in the first half, where if they're going to replace him, it's who with. They would obviously need to give, you know, Martin a severance fee. That's going to cost them a few million that they probably don't really want to depart with. And I think realistically they'd need to wait for a replacement first before they make any, you know, quick call decisions, let's say. I think it'll be the same as Kilmarnock. I'll give them until like mid-November at best, but I don't think he's going to be the type that will just let himself go. He'll probably suck up every little loose penny that he can off of them. You don't say it often, but you do feel bad for Rangers in that sense, man. Like, I cannot remember a time where they've started a season without a 1 in 5. It's like different levels of bad. Coming off the Carter, let's see if we get some football being played here. Scales. Played it towards that far side. How's your control? That's a weird deflection, but we can still maybe get something off here. It doesn't necessarily work out. It's more than fine. We're going for a quick cross here maybe? Well, we are, but it's another huge deflection. Maeda tries his best to force it. Doesn't necessarily work out as your control, Donovan. The first touch ain't actually half bad, but the pass is fucking woeful. His ability to do anything except pass is alright. It's when he has to actually get it to another player it's bad. Gotta love Maeda's celebration if anyone's watching the replay of it back. The way Pure grabs the badge as he scores. You can tell he's been wanting that. Probably one of the harder chances he's had to actually finish over the last few match days as well, and that's the one he scores. That is a big giveaway for Scales. What the fuck are you doing, Chief? Just kind of got caught sleeping, and Killie have a chance to counter-attack. Cross into the box is half dangerous, but eventually hooked away. I think by Benji in the end there. Celtic will do it, they can't keep it in play, but it was either just past the byline or it was pretty much as soon as it left contact. There is an actual warning up on the edge of the area, as well as McCowan. Two changes that do make sense for us. I feel like they are very sensible. A 1-goal lead is never anything that's comfortable to deal with, let's be honest. It's always open to interpretation if it's good enough. A second would do us a world of good, but we need to prevent this from being threatening. Killie get the ball into the area. It's not too threatening as of yet. Celtic kind of poke it clear again. Killie will have to try and do what they can pressure wise, and Celtic instead play around them. That's brilliant footwork, but again it's just not the cleanest touch on the inside from Tenecte. Well stuck out there by Tierney to kind of counter attack that one, get his leg in the way and stop Killie's attack from being potentially threatening there. Donovan far side. Coming off Carter Vickers towards Kilmarnock. He'll switch it back over towards Tierney. Let's see where the run is. It's a good step inside, although again slightly overhit, and it just kind of bundles its way straight into the box into the hands of the goalkeeper. Coming off. Will be a mistake that's going to cost us. We always have a mistake in us. Well, we survived right there with the one that happened after Scales back, but yeah, still about 20-30 minutes left of this one to go for us. A good wee touch for Rio. Tenecte does well to get past his man, although he's going to be very pressed for space. He does brilliantly step inside. That is not a bad attempt at all. He does well to recover the ball. Shot, takes a deflection and it goes over. That is a big chance. And he could have nearly got something there. It's a great block in the end by the Killie skipper. Give him credit where it's due. I think it's something in the way. It was really decent for the Tunisian to get that space away. And oh, the camera angle fucked me. It was Thompson that got the block. I thought it was their captain. We still have it from the edge of the area. Forrest refusing to pull the trigger. He just kind of dances around the outside of the box. Tenecte tries to do a little bit too much. The clearance away isn't too threatening either. Forrest will retain it on that far side from the pass in. Tries to do a little too much. He was up against 3 or 4 bodies in blue and white. And Tierney wasn't taking any risks. Plays it back towards the Great Dane and we can go again. Let's see what happens. Out towards that far side. Let's see what we've got going on this time. Negrin. Donovan to McGregor, Kilmarnock, Rio. Simple pass and ends up with Scales. He'll switch it back towards that far side. Tierney kind of screaming for any extra inside option. McGregor obliges, gets in towards him. Carter-Vickers again, switch across. We're just kind of going side to side, up, around. But with each time we go through that rotation of passes, we're pressing about 5 yards further forward. It's forcing Killie to kind of congress themselves into a 20-yard line essentially. It's good feet. Brilliant for Tonetti. That is stunning feet. Oh, how's that not going in? That was a genuinely brilliant piece of play there. But Killie have gone on their side that time and it just about gets scrambled off the line. That was a big chance. Good shift for them. A genuinely great feat there. McGregor's having a word with the referee about something. It doesn't hit any hands or anything. I don't see anything that's strange. Let's see. Nah, that cannot be given as a penalty, even if you're being very optimistic. It deflects onto his arm. No reason why that should be given. I get that it could obviously be preventing a goal. That might be the only reason why they might review that. It's one of those ones, like you can see why it would be good, because it does come off his arm. I want to clarify this, but he's trying to get his body in a natural position. So I don't see too many reasons why they would give this. Looks like Maeda's going to be coming off. The changes are going to be made now. Maeda and Rio, or Japanese men, are going to come off. I feel like Maeda deserves a wee clap for his goal. Rio didn't have too much of a bad game, but they're going to be replaced by two faces that will be very welcome for the Celtic support. McCowan obviously coming on just to give us a bit more physicality in that midfield and allow McGregor to free roam a bit more. And of course, our newest signing, our deadline day signing, if you want to call it that, in Kelechi Iheanacho. He's got 20 minutes to see what he can do. I think Killie have made a change as well with Kiltie, but I'm not sure who came on or came off for him, I should say. I like the attempt though. It was a nice wee style of play, but it was never going to work out. Killie cleared it calm enough. How are we doing for likes on this stream? Can anyone give me an update? Anywhere around 20 would be kind of respectable for a game like this. Let's see where we have a cross opportunity coming in here. Cleared away near post this time. Killie do their best to try and keep it close hand, but they're going to be forced back. Diaz and Mayo are kind of scrambling for it a little bit. They have to go back towards Strigic in the end, sent forward. Not really sure who they were trying to aim for there, but they've given the ball away, and I tell you what, the second touch isn't that much better. They've given that one away too. Two bad mistakes back to back for Killie. Allows Celtic to retain the ball. Kilmarnock, that's a loose touch. It either deflected off the inside of Killie or it was just a bad pass, but Killie have a chance to go forward. Good feet for Daniels, he's doing well. Ball into space is not that bad. It's a big deflection! Fucking hell, it could have been an own goal for Negrin. Jesus Christ, that could have rolled into the back of our own net. It was a vet, like, I can see why he needed to get the touch. But Jesus Christ, that was so unnecessarily awkward. It's like a half-hearted kind of cut across, and Negrin just kind of panic touches it, and I tell you what, man, it's like that beside the post. Killie do have a set piece chance off the back of it as well, so it's not as if we've really done ourselves a solid on either front. Ball in is dangerous, header up is not as threatening at least. Maybe they'll try and get a snap cross going in. They do get the snap cross off of Thompson. Doesn't bounce for anyone in particular. Polworth does his best to kind of retain it. I don't honestly know what it's Polworth. They couldn't really see the shot one more, but either way it's offside. Oh, 21, fantastic. Things you'll do. Oh, 25, even better. Things you'll love to see. Anyone that has liked, that's very kind of you. Much appreciated, keeps us in the algorithm. Calm enough, Benji boy, we'll love to see that. Simple and effective. Let's run it forward. We need some football to be played here. Scales. We keep it going, Carter. Roll it inside, son. Nothing stupid here. It's been a good wee stint for Celtic. Sustained pressure. Nice to see. Killie have had their moments, a few wee counter-attacking chances here and there, but again, nothing in what you would call a severe vein. You'd say Killie's best chance would probably be Nigrin's back pass that could have gone into our own net. It's a good ball out towards Tierney. He's going to take his man on. He does. Good fucking feet as well. Keeps it going, runs it out towards space. That's calm. Good football. Good for McCowan as well. Oh, it's a slightly loose pass. Killie will try and break forward, but they'll probably end up doing that, and they do the exact same thing, yep. Try to funnel the pass too quickly, give it away, and Celtic will retain it. Skills in towards space, back towards Carter Vickers. He'll spread it across for Donovan. In turn, he'll try and probably find, I guess, Forrest here. He does, yep. It's good passing out towards McGregor. Back to Forrest laid aft. Tierney's got it on that far side. Come on, boys. The passing is nice, but you want to see it in a forward motion ideally at some point. Tierney. Good pass in. Coming off. We'll love to see it. There's a run on here. He's on that far side. He'll try and stand his man up. Good feet. Brilliant feet! Oh my god, how the hell did that not go in either? Seems to be the man that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting chance-wise. He does well to get past his man. It's brilliant fucking feet. One thing we can say is He's got a dribble about him. He may not be the best when it comes to actually getting his shots on target, but getting into the spaces to have his shots. Looks like a solid wee ball. I'm liking what I'm seeing for him. Gets himself on the ball again, although the touch was probably a bit of a letdown. Tierney will do his best to snapshot his way in there and does actually a respectable job in the actual chase down, but cleared away by Diaz in the end. I'm pretty sure Killie were offside in that ball forward. It looked like it was. Referee puts his flag up now. There we go. You get used to these Sundays with the Europa League 3 fixtures. 3 fixtures every Sunday. I'm slightly confused by what you mean by that. You talk about like your kind of 3 games in a week spot in. You'll have it like on a Sunday and then a Thursday and then another Sunday. It's not too different for the Champions League though. That's the way I'd look at it. It's only a day switch, and most of the time what happens is you just play on the Sunday instead of the Saturday. Or on 28 now, Jesus Christ. But 29. Things you'll love to see, boys. Very kind. And we just popped up like 10 within, what, 2-3 minutes? Smashing. Things you love to see. Cheers, lads. Very kind. Here's McGregor, cuts it inside. Some decent goal. Okay, I'm guessing it's been held up for something that Carl Vickers will just retain it. I think it was just for a kind of late push. Yeah, kind of off the ball. Celtic have it pretty much dead on the halfway line. 76 minutes have been and gone. Looks like they're going for a bit of an interesting one, because they're taking off one of their centre backs and going for a more advanced player in Watkins. So I think Kettlewell might have just shifted Killie to a 4 at the back. If not, then it's still going to be that 5, but with one of the defenders pushed a lot further forward. But it looks like it's already kind of coalesced into a straight 4-4-2. Looks very much like a 4-4-2, yeah. The ball into the box is dangerous, and Celtic immediately nearly make a chance of their own. Iniacho was on the end of it, but couldn't really redirect it towards goal. Good pressure for the Killie fullback to stay with his man and make the cross at least a little bit more awkward. Give them credit where it's due there. You wouldn't really call it a solid chance for Kelechi, but it's nonetheless something. Low scoring games are always awkward for that reason. That's a good interception, actually. Fucking brilliant touch as well. Give Donovan his credit. The ball in is fucking beautiful as well. And Iniacho's done well to keep his feet. Gets the shot away, but it deflects. That's a little bit better though. You got to say the pass in for Donovan was fucking beautiful. He's figured his feet out finally. I've been watching him have shit pass after shit pass, but that was probably the second best of the game behind McGregor's in the first half. Put on a platter for Iniacho, but he just couldn't sort his feet out and get the shot away in time. Ball into the box is dangerous. Iniacho's going to have to overshoot and check his run, but Thompson's got the physicality, and Donovan once again just kind of comes across. cuts it out, punts it out for the side. Calm enough. Aberdeen, Celtic and Rangers play every few weeks on the Sunday all together up until Christmas. It'll be an interesting one, especially for the table, because at least you know there can't be any like inside weird shit going on if we're all kind of playing around the same times. That was a punt for Carter, Jesus Christ. Talk about getting it away, and he actually tries to stand his man up rather than kind of go for the headed jolt. Doesn't necessarily work out, and Killie actually have a chance to break on their own here. It's a 4v4. Ball into the box is whipped in with some pace, and I'll tell you what, good movement for Schmeichel. Steps out early and commits to it early as well. Good to see. Doesn't try and punt it or get a leg on it, just dive on top of it, take the sting out of it. Fabulous. Yeah, showing the stats on Celtic's goal, and it's been pretty much one-way traffic. 85% of the ball has been us since the goal. I'm not sure what that translates to in overall possession, but I'd imagine it would be around 80%. Celtic have had a predominant amount of the ball in this game, but again, you give Killie credit. They've kept the game close where they can, but they haven't really had anything that's sustainably on target off the top of my head. Like I said, the most dangerous it's felt is when Nygren had that pass back. Good pass into space. How's your touch, McGregor? Calm enough, big man. I love to see it. Growing into the game as it's going on. That's good footwork, and it could still be dangerous. Nice fucking play, but I got Kelechi, big man. I get that he's probably getting his, you know, sea legs, so to speak. Just kind of fell off the board entirely with that one, man. You've got to correct your runs a little bit better than that. Take the extra touch if you know you can't get the pass away. That should be a foul for us. Referee isn't interested, he just allows the advantage. Celtic retain and win the ball anyway, so it's fine. Things you love to see. Carter. Inside, calm enough, cuts it back towards his man. That should be reasonable to deal with at the very least, so long across on that far side. Scales. Killie try to step in and cover the space, make it a wee bit more awkward. That's a good pass in for Carter Vickers. Lovely pass through the legs for McGregor. And now there's a run up that far side. Tierney towards Tenecti. Very calm feet for him. He's been very good most of this game. What a pass into space! Deflected away for Thompson. You got to say, there's one defender that's actually been very, very solid for Killie this game. It's their fallback. That is another block that he's managed to get. Great feet for the Tunisian on that far side again. Lays it back towards the edge of the box. It's not a bad hit at all for Hank McKillen's the one that got the shot away. But all that comes from it is a corner kick as of now. Oof, well, let's just miss that. We'll kind of go over everybody. And McKinnon tries to keep it in with a nice wee heel flick, but rolls out for a goal kick regardless. Hey there, Mark, nice to see you, mate. Is that work or like Wisconsin? I'm not too sure. Hope you're well either way, Chief. Hope you're enjoying yourself. For once we're winning, there's actually some positive. Oh, fuck off as soon as I say that. Killie have got the ball. What the fuck were you doing, Schmeichel? That was very awkward, man. We're going to need to see that back, but it was a mixture of good defending and horrible positioning there. The ball was sent forward long. It wasn't the flick on, like, Jesus Christ, Casper does not cover himself in glory. He does well to get out and claim the initial ball, but it kind of bundles off his body. And tell you what, if Watkins was a bit more switched on, he could have got something out of that. It's a corner kick for Killie regardless. So again, still not technically clear. Ball in the box is half dangerous. That's a fucking big chance. It's going to be another corner kick. It's another block for Donovan. He's getting more involved. I had to get his leg in the way there, man. That was definitely going to be back towards the target. They'll get Kiltie to tee up on the far side. Oh, I hope you're not being stressed too much. There's going to be a ball into the box here. That's awkward. That's into the back of the net, and Killie have got their equaliser. You're fucking kidding. This is what I'm talking about. A simple corner fucking kick, man. Nobody marks him. It's in the back of the net. Killie have themselves some form of gratification for the press. You've got to say from a defensive perspective that is weak as fuck there. Oh, it's so bad. But I think it's Watson that's managed to creep in behind. It's him or Watkins, one of the two. I think it's Watson though. That's so fucking poor, man. It's not as if it's really headed either side of the keeper as well. It's just the power that catches Schmeichel off. Can't really get more than like a limp wrist to it at best. Fucking typical. It's a strong bullet header, but again, positionally, nobody's there, man. Only one that's with either of the bodies there is Scales, and he's not going to win against either of them. He has to prioritise one or the other. It's just such a simple goal to concede when you look at it on paper, and now we have 7.5 to 8 minutes to dig out a fucking winner. Typical Celtic, man. They've got to be making a change themselves. Brown's off, Williams is on. Fucking, ugh. It's so dumb, man. It's actually just poor as hell to watch. Rodgers does not look enthused at all, and to be quite frankly honest, I'm in the same fucking boat. Like, we almost had a chance. How's the game been? Not too bad, honestly. Marcus just took a major kick in the teeth. We're going to need to get shifting and try and get something going in the final few minutes, man. It would be typical that we fucking do this. As it stands right now, I think Hearts are top of the table by 2 points. So they'll be happy with that. Same old with Celtic. All the control and the ball in the world, but no end product, and this is what happens. Killie take their one chance that they get on target and fucking score it. So lacklustre, man. Got to get it out your arses now, boys. There ain't no other choice. It's do or die. Fucking typical. Nice football to play out for the back there. Donovan's going to have to just run at it most likely. Ball into the box is half-hearted at best. And Killie clear the lines on that far side. Scales, bro, that could have been awkward. McGregor, not the greatest first touch, but Scales stands his man to make it at least a little awkward, but they've got it forward, and Killie look like they actually want to go for this now. Ball into the box is half dangerous at best, and Tierney has to prioritise getting it out for another corner kick. We are making our own mistakes here. All but cementing the fact that just nothing feels cohesive at Celtic right now. You feel like it's a much better game on paper in terms of chance creation, but same issue always persists. Ball in the box. You're fucking, I swear to God, if the same thing happened twice I would have lost it. Thankfully fucking Scales manages to get something on that time. But basically a carbon copy across and it nearly works out. Killie from range. Thankfully nowhere near the target and sails all the way out on the far side. Don't think Anderson will be too happy with that one, but a chance nonetheless. Just shows you how shit we've become. Well, yeah. That is technically the first goal we've conceded domestically as well, and it's classic that it comes off a fucking set piece. And Killie seem to have a lot more energy than we do right now. Sent forward for Killie, that's probably going to be a foul because of the bundle over the back. Carter Vickers doesn't seem too pleased with it and asks the linesman what the fuck he's on. Ugh, I don't like the fact they've got a set piece so late in the fucking game as well. It's typical. Hearts have had their best chance since 1998 when Rangers 10 was stopped. I think Celtic edged it, but Hearts finished in a close second to mark the 40th anniversary of 1986 nicely for them. Well, the Jambo's will be quite alright with us. I mean, I think they'll obviously know that it's not set in stone. They still need to play Celtic and Rangers for that. Well, Actually, technically not, but they need to play Rangers at least once more before the year's end, right? Probably twice for Celtic, so that's what I'm saying. If they get to the end of December and they're still in that same boat, then we can definitely consider them serious contenders, especially how we're playing right now. Jesus Christ, lads. It's going to be a chase down here. Thompson will just do that crossing in swinger again. Schmeichel will gather it this time. He gets taken down, but I think it'll just be a foul anyway. Schmeichel is screaming that he wants some fucking space. Played out towards Donovan. Who's actually had a much better second half. It's kind of a shame that the rest of them have kind of fell off with a vengeance. How many times do I need to witness draws, man? It's so fucking stale. Oh, you're fucking... I was going to actually lose it if that found the back of the net, man. I looked away for a half second, looked back, and it was just a loose touch. Somehow we did not get that clear. Negrin gave it away, McGregor gave it away. Panicky fucking movement, man. And all of a sudden it seems like Killie are the team that are in the ascendancy. They're trying to make chances. It's going to be a corner kick for them on that far side. And they've had a few chances from set pieces now. This is pathetic as fuck, man. Ball into the box, it's up and awkward, not really dealt with. Someone's got to get on the end of it. Schmeichel's the one that does. Thankfully, the ball out's pretty good as well. Yang does well to finish, get it into space, but Killie will retain it. Regardless anyway, because nobody for Celtic wants to join Forrest on the attack. They want to prioritise defending a 1-1 fucking draw. That should be a foul for somebody, and I think we get it. Although Scales collided with something and I think he's landed weird, so they might have to check on him. Kind of see what happened off the ball. Oh, he does take a fucking sore one, in fairness. Just gets absolutely wiped out of the game. 3 additional minutes is what's been confirmed. So if Celtic wants something, we're going to have to go now. I feel like Kettlewell will absolutely take the point, given how out of reach a point even seemed up until about 80 minutes into the game. Do we have something here? Cross into the box is dangerous. Bounces around. I think it's a corner kick for us on the far side. If not, then it's a bad miss. Negrin, I'm pretty sure based on his reaction it is just that. It is, it's a star. Oh my god, man, he should have at least got that on target, but again, Thompson just comes across at the right time. If there is a man of the match for Killie defensively, you have to give it to Thompson. He's been fucking brilliant for them. Not promising at all. Stragic's going to take every sweet bit of time he can to clear this one away. 40 seconds for a goal kick is a rip in the ass, but nonetheless. Celtic basically just have to go full court press like they did at the end of the first half and hope something cuts on. But Killie have it, edge of the area. I'm going to try and hold it up where they can. Cross in is dangerous. It's over everybody. Donovan will have to chase it down. Does well enough to force it in for a throw in. They're trying to claim that it's... Well, I mean, it clearly came off a body in blue, but fair enough. Celtic will try and break forward. That's going to be an advantage played. Forrest, he's been wiped out. Yang's touch is slightly over the top, but it's a poor giveaway for Thompson. Yang has it from the edge of the area. Come on, big man, now would be the time. Shite fucking attempt. He just walks into the box and then passes it into fucking Thompson again. Jesus Christ, lads. Kettlewell definitely is very underrated in a lot of aspects. He's got the game tactically well for Killie the day, but just a lot of questions will have to be asked of this performance as well. It's not been the best. Good feet there, get the cross away, ball into the box, it's deflected and it's gone out for I think a corner kick. Celtic are asking questions about something, I don't honestly know what. But I think we're going to have one last chance with a corner kick. Maybe there's loose claims of a handball or something, I genuinely don't know. Nah, again, it's more deflected up on his arm if you're calling it anything. Although, to be fair, it's actually off the other hand entirely. From the first angle, it doesn't look as bad. But I think there might be a VAR check for a potential penalty. Oh, I tell you what, by the way, that angle is about as clear as it is. It's off his wrist. Celtic might just get one of the biggest bailouts possible. If it goes to VAR, there's a big chance that this would be given as a penalty. Right now, Beaton's standing and talking about it, so it'll be interesting to see what call is made. He's going to the... Oh, fuck, he is going to the monitor. Look, Celtic might just get a massive bailout at the end here. If he deems it worthy enough as a penalty kick, Celtic will have a spot kick, basically as the last kick of the game. Interesting. This would be typical. You've got Killie fans giving him shite as he goes over to the monitor. Look, but it does come off his hand. It's hard to argue against that. But it will be very similar to the one earlier on, where if it's direct enough, although this one, it's clean off the wrist. It's not awkward, it's not here or there, it's straight off the wrist. Is he going to give it? I think it's a penalty kick for us. I'm not too sure. Yes, it is. Oh my god, we have a chance. Killie don't seem too happy about it, but it is going to be a penalty kick for Celtic to win the game right at the fucking death. The question is who gets the nod for it. Looks like it's going to be the skipper. Oh, this is about as good as a chance as we are going to fucking get. Please do not miss this, boys. You're going to give it to Killie. The boy who's barely played any half-decent minute, you're going to give it to him. Oh, this could be interesting. Well, it's either our striker's going to get off the mark for Celtic in the best way possible or the worst way. Penalty, last minute. Is he going to sink it? Killie steps up. Scores it! Good stuff, big boy! Celtic steal it at the end. Honestly, it's hard to say we deserve even that fucking much, but we win. Right at the end of the game, it sends the away side into fucking delirium. Look at that, scenes. Kilmarnock will feel so hard done by there, honestly. But sometimes you need a lot of luck to go your way, and Celtic have got it. It's hard to deny that it is a penalty because it comes off his hand. It's open and shut. But Killie defending as well as they have for the past half an hour or so, that will hurt them severely. But Celtic get their second. It's pretty much game over now. Killie just commits to it, picks where he wants to go and puts some height on it. The keeper goes the right way. But thankfully he dives low, doesn't put a hand in the air, and Killie makes sure that he introduces himself in the best way possible. A 95th, 6th minute winner basically. You put it down as a 96th. And there'll probably be about an extra minute or two for the VAR check, so it's still not fully done. Want to clarify this. He gets a yellow card for the celebration, honestly more than valid. The referee just blows a whistle straight away. Honestly, it's one of those ones. I'm happy we got the 3 points, but fucking hell was that dreadful. Really rode our luck right at the end. Celtic basically at the death make sure that we guarantee ourselves a place at the top of the table. There you go. If you're looking at goal difference, we have one to our name. We're ahead on one single goal, which technically would be that penalty that we just scored. I feel like we've gotten away with one a little bit there as well, Flash. I'm not even going to lie. It's soft, but by the rules of the game, yeah. You'd say the one that happened earlier on in the half was more of a penalty call because that literally interfered where the ball went deflection-wise and it caused Celtic to not have an easier chance. That one was just a deflection that came up off his wrist. Like, I get it, it's clear as day where it comes off, but it's such a soft one for them to lose it on. Like, Killie will feel so hard done by, but at the end of the day, I'm fucking chuffed because we win. It's at least we get to celebrate. It's been a while since we've done the yas, so for anyone that is new here, we do this thing where we yell very loudly, so prepare yourselves if you would like to. We've got shit to do here, so... Gentlemen, for the victory. And for the very shitty win that we take, because that's about as good as it's going to get for us. Yes! Good. They don't deserve a big one, because it was not a very convincing win, but hey, at least we did something. We got to see our new boys. Tenecti was actually pretty alright. Killie gets his goal, it's never a bad thing. Dyson scoring a header, fantastic. Missed the second half. How did the new striker look? Mixed. He scored a penalty right at the end of the game, but that was about it. He didn't really have too many other chances besides that. Killie were actually the ones on the press near the end of the game, ironically enough. But scored the penalty, it was well taken. He's made his mark. He kind of celebrated by doing this in front of the fans, so interesting in that perspective. But yeah, Ferret is spot on. We absolutely did a fucking snatch and run. That is about as big as a snatch and run as you can get. But hey, it's 3 points, and like I said, what that does for us table wise is give us a nice little platform, which I am more than content with. Only wait for Google to take 20,000 years to load this. Now I've just got like an update thing on my PC, so I need to end this stream in the next 20 minutes. Fantastic. Well, I'm not going to be covering the quarter final against Partick Thistle. I don't think there's too many reasons to cover that game. I'll be fully honest, but you will see me absolutely 100% in 10 days from now when we play at Red Star. In fact, you'll pretty much have me for the entire week, because on the 24th you've got obviously Red Star. On the 27th we've got Hibs, and that's definitely a game worth covering. And of course we've got Braga on the 2nd as well. So up until basically Motherwell, you have me, minus the Partick Thistle game. Then obviously the national games after Motherwell and stuff as well, because I'll be covering the Greece one. But the one that you need to worry about, at least the one that I should be next live for, so you can get a little gander at it, is this one. Yay. That'll be the next one that I'm guaranteed to be live for. How do he look in the 10 minutes? Does he look like he'll be decent in the league? I feel like he's got to get his legs up to speed, if you're asking me honestly. I feel like Aniacho's kind of just got to get his stamina up at the levels that the rest of the squad are at. But yeah, he's just not had that many minutes for the start of this season, so once he gets up and at him, basically, it could potentially be a good thing to see. Like if he gets into the form that he was at when he was back in his City days, for instance, you could get something decent out of him. But it's kind of hard to make an official like observation. Kind of, it's the same as Barakwisha when he played in the old form. It's like he didn't have too many chances to really develop an opinion. But Tenecti looks good. He genuinely looks like a baller, and that's always nice to see. You know, whenever you sign someone that you don't have too much information on, it's interesting to see how they adapt and play towards those types of games. But yeah, he was actually pretty convincingly good to watch today, so I'm not too disheartened by that in the slightest. I think we did okay in terms of getting someone like him through the door. Looks alright. It's a shame that he's coming into a very hostile situation, but a last minute winner's always nice. In the games that win you the league, exactly it, Neil. Every win is a win nonetheless, and we got it. Took us right to the end of the game. A penalty decision that was mixed at best. You can see why it was given, you can see why people will argue against it, but I think by the definition and rules of the game, that is about as straightforward as a call is to make. But yeah, I don't think too many things need to be really said or argued on here, right? Realistically, we got 13 points for 15. The only slip up has been away to Ibrox, which again isn't the worst thing on paper, but when you consider how stale this season has been, we've already been kind of took out the Champions League by a bunch of Kazakhstan, you know, players, which is never fun. Obviously, Kairat, they're not going to do much in the Champions League at all, but that should have been us. Instead, we got the Europa League, so it's about making a statement, and that realistically, that's what a lot of this season is going to be based upon. Because if the board want to back themselves up and say that we've done enough investment, we'll see. Because if we're barely getting across the line away to Rugby Park, it's going to be a bit different when you're going to have to go to fucking like Belgrade Stadium, or you're going to have to go and deal with a lot of difficult places in the Europa League that could be massive throw-ups for us. Like, we're going to have to certainly be our best, and if that is our best, then yeah, you don't really see us getting more than maybe fucking 10 points in the groups. You'd be very surprised, especially in the league phase. Like, that's about as good as it gets on paper right now, unless the boys get their finger out their arse and start kind of forming some identity. But Sorachi looked very good today. Tenecte was very solid for all intents and purposes. Baragwisha didn't get too many opportunities on the ball. Didn't look particularly promising in this game, but I don't think he was just designed for it. Forrest was pretty good when he came on. Can't really say too much. Maeda obviously got his header, which was nice to see, but he wasn't dizing, you know, he wasn't running at full power or full tilt, but you know that's how good Maeda is, when even when he's inconsistent he can still pop up every now and then with a pretty crucial goal, and without that goal we would have been absolutely fucking grueling over this result, because it would have been a last minute penalty, draw one each, so you have to take it from that perspective. Defensively, okay, can't say too much. Donovan had a very good second half, genuinely can't really complain about it from that perspective, pretty fucking decent. Can't say too much for Tierney when he came on, a couple of good passes into the box. All in all, not the worst performance, but certainly not a game where you say anyone stand out. I'd say Tenecte was the best player, and at best I would give him a 7.5 out of 10. He certainly wasn't firing on cylinders, but he at least gave us a bit of a creative spark, which is nice to see. Someone that can cut in and cause us some problems. He kind of gives me like who's a good example I can think in the Premier League. Kind of like a Saka, in the sense that he likes to cut in and actually run at his men rather than just force it to the byline and cross. It's good to see that there's a bit of a different dynamic there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the things that we need to cover. I'll kind of throw it out to you if you want any more questions. You have about a minute or two to get them in, and if not, then we'll kind of wrap things up, because I've got a PC update that I need to do. It's probably why everything's been so slow. But if not, then fair enough. I suppose I should check my phone and see how many subscribers we got, because we always like to check and see. Yeah, we gained like 4 the day, so to anyone that joined us, that's very, very kind. Thank you for doing so. This was definitely one of the more kind of low end streams to tee us up, but like I said, on a bit of a break until the Europa League. The next time you hear me, it will be pretty much when we're battling out in Europe, and hopefully there's some half decent performance to be had there. That would be nice, realistically. Let's see if we can maybe play music now. Celtic and Liverpool, but yeah, both of us built out by some fucking incredible means of luck. But hey, we take it. This is going to be one of the weirdest seasons in a long time. Yeah, you feel, see, like by the time that March hits, I feel like most of us are just going to be sitting there with our head in our hands, like, my fucking god, can this just end already? Like, this is going to be wrapped up in, like, I don't think it's one that a lot of fans, especially in the Glasgow region, will be looking back on and be like, yeah, I mean, I was happy with that. Let's see if the music's wanting to work with us, but most likely not. Oh, that's actually held up relatively fine. What a day this is. I feel that in my bones. Well, I feel like that's everything that we need to basically cover, to be honest, right? So, I think it's time to wrap this up. So, thank you for joining us, thank you for coming along. It was a very strange game, but a game that we got across the line, and nonetheless Killie came back and gave us a crack, but at the end of the day we smacked them back, and that's all that really matters to us. 2-1 on the day, last minute penalty from Kelechi scores, well, manages to get us on the scoreboard, I should say, at the right time, get the 3 points, very decent in that perspective. Can't really complain too much. Like I said, you probably won't see me for the game against Partick, because realistically it's not a game that's worth covering in my opinion, but I'll definitely be back on the 24th for that game against Red Star away. That will be an interesting one, because realistically we need to get after at least somewhat of a respectable good start in Europe. That's the bare minimum. So like I said, you can join us till that 24th of September and we kick off. We'll go live about 15 minutes before kick off, so if you want to join us at any point in between then, you're more than welcome to do so. Yeah, that's basically everything. Anyone that's liked the stream, watched this from the start or just a little bit of it, we appreciate you coming by nonetheless. So I'm pretty sure that kind of covers everything that needs to be covered. I can't really complain too much. Celtic wins, decent, you know what I mean. All depends where the Hearts can stay the course. That would be exciting, damn right. Hopefully they've got a bit of a fight in them for the rest of this season. At least if they can put up a fight until January, that'll be a pretty interesting one. But it's a good old adage. Even when Celtic are at their worst, they still can't beat us then. So what happens when we're at our best is a different story entirely. But for now, I think it's time for me to wrap things up. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to do so. Anyone that's new here, thank you for joining us. Any like has been appreciated. And as always, we wrap it up in style by saying what we always say. Celtic are still the best goddamn team in the world. We'll see you on the 24th, where hopefully that point gets proven in full effect when we win 6-0. It's not going to happen, but we'll hope that it does. Catch you after, boys. It's been a pleasure. See you in the next one. Bye.